Thank you very much. Thank you for the patience. We are finally here. The final press conference. I, first of all, want to thank all the sponsors. I know Eric had the opportunity, the president of Golden Boy Promotions, to thank all the sponsors, but I really want to send my appreciation for everyone who's part of this great event. This is for supremacy. This is to see who is the best middleweight in the division, but to see who the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet is. So I really am grateful for everyone in the boxing world, in the fight world, just coming together and making this event as big as it can be. And this event needs no hype whatsoever. You have Canelo Alvarez, who you know what he can do, you know what he's all about, you know the hard work he puts into his every single fight. He has obviously devastating punching power, tremendous speed, great footwork. Then you have the champion here, Gennady Golovkin, who is undefeated, has amazing power. So this is a fight that's a can't miss. That's the bottom line. You know, people ask me every single day, I mean, what type of fight are we gonna see? I really don't know. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball in front of me to give you the prediction, but what people do know is that it's going to be a great fight because of what's at stake. And what's at stake is pride. It's pride and fighting for your country and fighting for boxing fans all over the world. This is a fight for the sport of boxing, and it couldn't have come at a better time. The stakes couldn't be any higher. I strongly feel that when you take a look at a fight like this one, it's really hard to remember when we've witnessed this type of matchup. It's been years. The only fight I really can compare it to on paper, you have to go back. You have to go back to the marvelous Marvin Hagler days. You have to go back to Thomas Hearns, you know. And we're still talking about that fight. That's exactly what this event is all about. I want to talk about, I want my kids, your kids will talk about Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin 20 years from now. That's the type of fight we have in our hands, a special fight. And so, you know, we at Golden Boy Promotions and working with Canelo and Golovkin and Tom Loeffler, you know, we are very proud of putting this event together. We have to thank the fighters for agreeing, fighting at the peak of their careers, because obviously without the fighters, this is not possible. Saturday night at the T-Mobile Arena, it will be electrifying. It'll be a packed house. We are happy to announce that the fight sold out in less than 2 weeks for a reason. And obviously that reason is because the world knows what we have on our hands, what we're going to witness on Saturday night, September 16th. And to top it all off, the special weekend, celebrating Mexican Independence Weekend is a big deal, is a huge deal all over the world. So not only are we going to witness an amazing fight, but we will be able to join forces, to come together and celebrate a wonderful weekend with our Mexican neighbors and our families all over the country, all over the world. So that's the reason why this weekend is so very special. This event will take place live on HBO pay-per-view. And beginning for the first time, I think ever, we will be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's in consideration of our East Coast fans and our global fan base who will be tuning in. We didn't want this event to start so late, so you know, fans will be able to appreciate the fact that we're beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is the very first time in the history of this sport. You can also watch it on ringtv.com, which obviously now these days, you know, people do not want to be told what to watch and where to watch and what to watch it on. So you can now watch it on ringtv.com on your phone, on your tablet, from wherever you're at. So we're happy to announce that you can watch the fight on ringtv.com. I want to thank the MGM. I want to thank everyone here in Las Vegas who opened their doors to make this event possible. The hospitality has been amazing. I mean, the MGM is by far, you know, one of our best partners we have in boxing. They love the sport. They are invested in boxing, and you can tell by the hospitality that they're giving us here all this week. So thank you very much to everyone who is involved with the MGM. So on that note, I would like to call up my good friend who is the president of entertainment and sports for the MGM Resorts International, and that's my good friend Richard Sturm. Richard.
Thank you, Oscar. Good afternoon to the media, our event partners, sponsors, and all of the fight fans around the world watching today's event online here at the David Copperfield Theater at the MGM Grand. As we welcome back Canelo Alvarez following his May victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., we would also like to welcome Triple G to Las Vegas as he makes his Nevada debut. This is one of the most anticipated events of the year, and we are thrilled that these two great champions have decided to fight Saturday night at the T-Mobile Arena. The event, as Oscar mentioned, is sold out. However, we are showing the closed-circuit broadcast of the fight, which will be available at all of our MGM Resort properties. I would like to give a special thank you to Oscar De La Hoya, Eric Gomez, Robert Gaspari, and the Golden Boy promotion staff, Tom Loeffler and the K2 promotions team, Peter Nelson, Tony Walker, and the HBO sports crew, and Bob Bennett of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Las Vegas and T-Mobile Arena will once again be the center of the sports and entertainment world as we celebrate Mexican Independence Day weekend with a number of exciting Latin concerts and this outstanding championship boxing event. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Bob Bennett. He's with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, up to say a few words. Bob.
Thank you, Oscar, and good afternoon. On behalf of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, first of all, we would like to thank Golden Boys Promotions and Triple G Promotions for having this world-class fight in the fight capital of the world. As always, the Nevada State Athletic Commission is humbled, honored, and privileged to be able to regulate this fight, or I should say this sensational fight. With that being kept in mind, you should know that we take a great deal of time and effort in the selection of our officials for this fight, as we do for all fights. And in this particular fight, we've selected Kenny Bayless as the referee, who has reffed over 70 championship and elimination bouts. World-class judges such as Adelaide Bird, who's judged over 115 championship and elimination bouts. World-class judge Dave Moretti, 169 championship and elimination bouts. And last but not least, Don Trella, who has judged 60 world-class and elimination bouts. Between the four officials, that gives us about 120 years of experience officiating this fight. I'm very proud of the aforementioned officials, and I'm sure they're going to do a great job. There's no doubt that we are unequivocally prepared and ready to go to work. And lastly, and probably most importantly, I would like to thank the fighters, Triple G, or Gennady, whatever you like, don't knock me out, and Canelo. So thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Bob. Before I introduce the next gentleman, I do want to say that Hurricane Harvey and Irma have caused tremendous damage in the last 2 weeks. So we will be donating a part of the proceeds from this fight to relief organizations in Texas and in Florida. So you know, not only will this be an amazing fight for your entertainment, but we're doing it for a great cause. So and that's thanks to Canelo Alvarez and Triple G, the champions here on the dais here. So so it is my pleasure to introduce to you the promoter of Triple G, who is an amazing man. It's been a pleasure working with his team, and let me introduce to you, to say a few words, Tom Loeffler.
Boy, what an event. What a turnout. We arrived in this great city as Las Vegas Monday evening, and it seemed like as soon as we checked into the hotel and arrived at the airport, just the excitement was in the air. You could feel it. Yesterday, we did the grand arrivals, and so many media from around the world. Look at the how filled the room is here from the international media and all the fans coming from all over the world. An event like this can only be a super fight between somebody like Canelo Alvarez and Triple G, two true world champions, the two best middleweights in the world, two of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and also two of the most marketable fighters in the world. An event like this, it's a co-promotion between Golden Boy and Triple G Promotions. As many of you know, co-promotions don't always run smoothly, but I have to say, I have to give a lot of credit to Oscar De La Hoya, to Eric Gomez, and the entire staff of Golden Boy for making this as seamless of a co-promotion as we could have hoped for. I'd like to also thank everyone on the Triple G side, Life in Motion Group, just everyone involved on our side that really, you know, Oscar and I stand up here, but it's we have so many people that really help us behind the scenes to make something like this a successful event. As Oscar alluded to, the MGM Resorts, just tremendous properties up here. The Triple G official host hotel is the Mandalay Bay, which is a beautiful property. In fact, that's a good point, Oscar. I was involved. I was managing Obakar when he fought Oscar, the very first event at the Mandalay Bay in 1999, if you remember that. And so Oscar and I have a long history together, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be able to work together with Golden Boy on an event like this. Bob Bennett has done a tremendous job at the Athletic Commission. You know, the primary concern, not only putting together a successful event, but the primary concern is the health and the safety of the fighters who so bravely risk their health and their safety in the ring. And Bob and the Nevada Athletic Commission do a tremendous job to make sure everyone is medically licensed and cleared, and also has assigned tremendous officials to this fight. I'd like to just acknowledge our television partner, HBO. I think, well, I know without HBO, Triple G and Canelo Alvarez wouldn't be at the stage they are right now of their career. HBO really is the television platform that can build stars, that builds champions. I'd like to give a special thanks to Peter Nelson, who's out there in the audience. He's the one that really gave Triple G his first opportunity on premium cable TV here in the United States. When I first approached him and I said, I represent an undefeated middleweight champion from Kazakhstan. He'll fight anybody. He doesn't need a lot of money. He just wants the opportunity to fight on television. And Peter had the foresight into September 2012, almost September 1st, so almost 5 years to the day that we're standing here now, to put him on. And ever since then, it's been just a wild roller coaster ride with Triple G once his talents were exposed on HBO. You know, HBO pay-per-view does a tremendous job distributing this event. And to say a few words on behalf of HBO, I'd like to bring up the Vice President of Programming at HBO Pay-Per-View, Tony Walker.
Thanks, Tom. Hello, everybody, and thank you all for coming out and supporting what's going to be a fantastic show on Saturday night. Congratulations to Tom and Oscar for putting this together. It is truly will be a momentous night on Saturday, and really a big thank you goes out to both Canelo and to Gennady for really embracing the show and listening to the fans and really wanting this fight. And what we end up with is the best fight that can be made in boxing, and potentially and probably a fight that we all are going to think about in years to come. Oscar mentioned the new start time, and we ask that you help us publicize that to the public. Old habits die hard, and we want really everyone to know that the first fight will be in the ring at 5 p.m. local time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and the main event is scheduled to go off around 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern time. So that all we want fans to do is order the fight early, because we know they want to, we know they're going to see it, and to just sit back and start that party early also. Getting to know the fighters has always been a big part of what we do when we promote these pay-per-view shows, and I would invite you to check out on the HBO digital platforms our episodes of 24/7 and Under the Lights, and some other video we have that really tells the backstories of the fighters, really interesting stuff, and you get a sense and an idea of what has driven these two great fighters to the place they are now. HBO.com, all this week, will have a comprehensive look at Fight Week with interviews and the stories in a podcast. So go to HBOInsideBoxing.com to get all the Fight Week coverage. Lastly, I want to thank all our distributors. From the day this fight was announced, we have had great support from the people who actually bring the fight to the consumer. They recognize what we have here on Saturday night, and I want to thank them for all their efforts and the fact that they've just continued to promote boxing in general. The suggested retail price for the fight is $69.95. As always, we promise you some insightful commentary and a fun telecast. And I also want to thank Mr. Sturman and the MGM Grand and their team. They're great hosts, and we really appreciate being here. See everybody Saturday night in what should be a very electric T-Mobile Arena. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tony. So the middleweight division is a division that brings power and speed together inside that ring. Brings excitement. It brings the best of the best, and obviously that's what we have on Saturday night. When you think about the middleweight division, you think about marvelous Marvin Hagler and Thomas Hearns. You think about Sugar Ray Leonard and his battles with Roberto Duran, the Four Aces, they called them back in the day. This next gentleman that I'm about to introduce is a living legend. He knows a thing or two about the middleweight division and what it's like to be a middleweight, the pressure you carry on your shoulders, on your back, in being a middleweight, in being a champion, your responsibilities, not only to boxing, but to all the fans all over the world. They expect you to be, to shine inside that ring because you're a middleweight champion. And so this next gentleman, not only did he break records and defend his title 20 times, but he was always willing to fight the very best at the peak of his career. And so it is my pleasure to introduce to you my partner at Golden Boy Promotions, the living legend, Bernard Hopkins.
Thanks, Oscar, and everyone that played a role in getting this historic moment to where we're at now. The middleweight division goes all the way back, as most people here know. I mean, I'm going back Ray Robinson when he moved up from welterweight, and even coming all the way up to, as Oscar mentioned, to the great marvelous Marvin Hagler. But this fight here, and I love history, and I like to look at tapes every now and then, even to the day. And I thought about when I got here yesterday from Philadelphia, the fight that really stands out to me when it comes to Golovkin and Canelo. And I see the danger in the first couple of rounds of the way both of them fight and the way one is more aggressive. And the first thing I thought about, if you remember the Marvin Hagler and the John the Beast Mugambi. John the Beast Mugambi was a guy that was destroying everybody, even the middleweights from Philadelphia. And anyone up here know about boxing, know about that era. And my era was my era, but now we're in this era, and I'm glad to witness it from a historic point of view and also from a promotional point of view. So I'm very blessed, not lucky. It was meant to be. And I'd like to thank everybody that played a role in making this happen because, you know, if you look at the time between 2001 in Madison Square Garden with Felix Trinidad and myself to 2017, don't judge me if I'm a year off, I think that's 16 years. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it do happen, embrace it, enjoy it, and understand that history don't always repeat itself. But one thing will repeat themselves is the pride of the vision that I felt that my career was made and built on as the foundation that got me all the way up to the end. And so, Canelo and Triple G, thanks for respecting the division that made me. So, again, enjoy it, fans, reporters from all over, and understand that history is something that we should always remember. The definition of that doesn't happen all the time. And no matter who you choose, no matter where you go, that'll never be forgotten what happened come the 16th on HBO pay-per-view. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernard. At this moment, we would like to now introduce the gentleman who, it's the man behind the man, as we say in boxing. The fighter obviously is doesn't get the preparation, the confidence, without having someone that he relies on, someone that he believes in, someone that he trusts. So the trainers are very instrumental, a vital piece of the puzzle that they're putting together in order to come out with the perfect game plan. So at this moment, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the trainer who has been with them practically or all of his professional career to Golovkin, and his name is Abel Sanchez. Abel.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you to everybody that's here. All the talking, all the boasting on both sides, I think has been done. We had a great training camp, great sparring. Gennady's 100%. I'm sure that Chepo and Eddie have prepared Canelo the same way. We're looking for a difficult fight. We're looking for a dramatic fight, explosive. I think that these two guys' styles match up perfectly to give us that kind of fight that we're going to remember for a long time. Thank you very much. See you on the 16th.
Thank you, Abel. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you Canelo's trainer, who's been with him ever since he started boxing. He's been there with him, guiding his career and training him to the best of his capabilities. He's a trainer who is a historian, who studies films, who studies past fights, who always comes out with a perfect game plan, and is only getting better. Let me introduce to you the trainer of Canelo Alvarez. That is Eddie Reynoso. Eddie.
Buenas tardes. Pues creo que ya todo lo que se tenía que decir, pues ya se hizo, ya se habló.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think now that everything that was said, that had to be said, it's been done.
Hicimos una gran preparación, tenemos preparándonos más de 14 años para llegar a este tipo de peleas.
We had a great preparation. We had more than 14 years to prepare for this type of fight.
Entonces, pues estamos más que listos, hicimos un gran campamento, no tuvimos ningún contratiempo, no hay lesiones, no hay problemas con el peso, estamos contentos y más que nada, pues estamos listos para ganar el sábado.
We've had a great camp. There was no injuries, everything went well. And more importantly, we're ready to win come Saturday night.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Also, it is my pleasure to introduce the manager of Canelo Alvarez, who's been with him, all his career, and who has done a phenomenal job. That is Jose Chepo Reynoso. Jose.
Buenas tardes a todos ustedes.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Primero que nada, agradecerles toda la cobertura a todos los medios de lo que han hecho con esta pelea. De veras, muchas gracias.
I really want to thank you all the media, for all the coverage you've given this fight. Thank you so much.
Y decirles que, bueno, terminan 10 semanas de un trabajo intenso.
And to tell you that it's the end of 10 hard weeks of training.
Un trabajo con mucha disciplina, con mucha responsabilidad.
Work that was done with a lot of discipline and a lot of responsibility.
Y en el campamento de Canelo nos declaramos listos.
And in Canelo's camp, we declare ourselves ready.
Y confiados.
Confident.
Que el sábado próximo vamos a ganar.
that come Saturday night, we are going to
Saúl va a
win.
salir con la mano en alto.
And Canelo's going to come out with his hand raised.
Y quiero rematar con algo dedicado a mi amigo Abel.
And I want to close with a dedication to my friend Abel.
Dice Abel que Triple G
Abel
Tiene
says that
estilo
Triple G
mexicano.
has a Mexican style.
y yo, Chepo Reynoso,
And I, Chepo Reynoso,
le digo a Abel
tell Abel
que el Canelo
that Canelo
tiene estilo,
has a style,
corazón
heart,
y es mexicano.
and
Gracias.
he's Mexican. Thank you.
All right, now for the time that you've been waiting for. We now are going to introduce the fighters. Both fighters, as you see, they're ready. They've been waiting all their life for this type of fight, and it is my pleasure to once again call up to the podium to introduce Team Golovkin, and that is my partner Tom Loeffler. Tom.
Well, this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. As I mentioned before, both sides have a lot of people associated with the promotion. Both fighters, a lot of people associated personally with them. I have to say, Abel knows Gennady just from spending so much time in his Big Bear training camp. The Summit Gym up in Big Bear, where he whips up his magic formula of knockouts up there, and creates what everyone sees on fight night as Triple G. So Abel knows him intimately. I'd like to acknowledge his manager Oleg Herman, who I met with Oleg about 6 years ago when he flew to Los Angeles looking for a new promoter, and ever since then, our philosophies have been the same, and it's been, for a team to work cohesively together, that's the result that you see when you have a very successful fighter. Like the great Bernard Hopkins alluded to on the stage, he had so many title defenses. When you have Gennady, this will be going on his 19th title defense if he's successful on Saturday night. So when you have someone of that stature, especially in the middleweight division, the glamour division of boxing, it takes a very strong team behind him. So with that, I'd like to bring up the IBO, the IBF, WBA, and WBC undefeated middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Triple G Golovkin.
Thank you, Tom. Good afternoon, everybody. Really, I'm very happy. Good to see everybody in Vegas. First of all, I want to tell thanks to promotions. It's a great job, amazing job, Golden Boy and Triple G Promotions. I want to thank thanks to sponsor who support me, who support this event. To partners, of course, to HBO pay-per-view. It's huge time for boxing. I don't want to talk too much, just I'm ready. I respect Canelo's team. I know this is the biggest day for us, and not for us, for boxing, for this area. Finally, please welcome September 16th, T-Mobile Arena. It's huge history fight. I see you September 16th. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Para mí es un gran placer presentarles una pelea de esta magnitud en estas fechas tan importantes. El 16 de septiembre no solamente vamos a ver una gran noche de peleas.
To me, it brings me great pleasure to offer this type of fight, this great of a fight, on Mexican independence, September 16th, not only are we going to see a great fight,
pero tenemos el privilegio de celebrar la independencia mexicana en esta gran noche, el 16 de septiembre.
but we also have the great privilege to celebrate with this great fight on September 16th.
Y gracias a boxeadores como lo es el gran Julio César Chávez, que nos abrió las puertas para tener el privilegio de festejar estos tipos de eventos.
And thanks to the great Julio Cesar Chavez, who opened the doors to be able to celebrate these types of fights, these types of events on such a special day.
Así que este sábado continúa la tradición del boxeo mexicano, lo bonito que es, todo el esfuerzo que las grandes leyendas, el trabajo que han hecho a través de tantos años de sudor, de sangre, de entrenar, de estar en el cuadrilátero y dejar todo en ese ring.
So this Saturday night, the tradition continues of that Mexican fighter that gives you everything once they step into the ring, the sweat, the soul, their blood, everything comes Saturday night.
Es un privilegio para mí de presentarles a solamente 27 años. Tiene obviamente todo por delante, sigue aprendiendo, sigue creciendo, tiene un gran equipo y ahora está peleando en la pelea quizás más difícil de su carrera.
And it brings me a great pleasure to introduce to you, at only 27 years of age, with a great team, a great fighter, and with so much more ahead of him.
Les quiero presentar con un récord de 49-1 y 34 knockouts de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
I want to introduce you from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, with a record of 49-1, Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí. Gracias por todo su apoyo que siempre me brindan.
Thank you to everyone for being here, and thank you so much for all the support that you always give me.
Tampoco me gusta hablar mucho, simplemente decirles que estoy listo, estoy preparado para esto. Sé que va a ser una pelea muy dura.
And you know me, I don't like to talk a lot. I just want to say that I'm prepared. But I mean, I know what it's going to be. It's going to be a tough fight. I know that.
Pero estoy listo para esto, una pelea que ustedes querían ver, aquí está. Disfrútenla como yo la voy a disfrutar. Nos vemos el 16 de septiembre.
And that's what I'm ready for. I just want you to all enjoy it like I'm going to enjoy it. I'll see you all on Saturday night.
Wonderful. Thank you very much to everyone who is watching on ringtv.com. We will pose the fighters for pictures now. And thank you very much, and see you on Saturday night. Thanks.